You might be wondering, how do companies consistently hit huge months of 1 million a month, 2 million a month, 3 million a month, and consistently hit 8 figures per year? My name is James Lewis, CEO of Whiteboard Investments and BizLeads, and I've had two companies that have gotten into the 8 figure mark, a couple others getting a bit closer, one of them being BizLeads, another one being the finance companies. And basically today we're going to cover the optimal team structure in order for you to actually get to that scale and get to 8 figures, which is, by the way, 10 million a year and $833,000 per month. So let's jump right in. So this is the hidden team structure that I would say companies at the 8 figure, 9 figure mark use that you probably don't think is as important as you actually would think. So number one, setting up the team structure right. This is the initial team structure, okay? Making sure that you have, these are finance specific, but I'll talk about it generally. SDR, which is a sales development rep. This is basically the frontline person who qualifies leads and filters prospects before they deal with someone who's actually going to turn them into the next significant stage. So for example, in a broker world, it would be you'd be qualifying them based on, for example, income, whether they have a property or not, what they're actually looking for, when they're looking to move forward. And basically you bring them right up to the point where they're ready for an application. As soon as that is, you transfer them live or set an appointment, if not available, to the broker. This works when financial planning. I've done it in financial planning. I've done it in finance and obviously BizLeads and other companies as well. So the main benefits of this structure is the SDR handles all the leads. And the biggest thing today with leads is that we're in a time where they're much harder to get a hold of. It's harder to actually get them into that first stage. So much of their time is spent actually doing the first part of the job that if you're a broker doing the whole part, it's not really the best structure moving forward, because you spend half your day just getting a hold of leads and turning them into applications, let alone actually doing the job of closing deals. So basically, instead of your broker calling the 50 people to find 5 serious ones, the SDR does that. And more profit. Because the broker's time is spent only on closing, their conversion rate with their current stuff doubles, and so does the SDR. The SDR's increased conversion rate, because that means they're only doing that, okay? And basically, it's much easier to manage it as well, because instead of pushing someone to manage 7 different things in a day, they're only pushed to manage 3, and there's much higher KPIs than you can hold people to when they're only doing a smaller job, and it's much easier to scale revenue and profit as well. So set up the team structure so it's right. So basically, here's what an SDR does. Example, new lead fills out a form. Within 5 minutes, SDR calls them. That's one thing that they do. They can call leads quicker because that's all they're doing. They ask the 5 to 10 qualifying questions that you have, that you basically need to establish for it to be a fit for your business and your offering. Find out obviously if they're a fit, and if they are, the lead moves to the broker. If not, the SDR doesn't clog up the pipeline and moves them on into the appropriate stage, okay? Most business fails here because the business owner or broker is juggling this step. Okay, it's one of the biggest things. The biggest reason I was able to take the finance companies up in revenue so much was the junior. It's called SDR broker or the junior senior. That's the best structure that I've seen, because you can, first of all, an SDR is someone who you can pay approximately 5, 6, 7 or less thousand per month, and they're going to do the role that would cost you way more in probably just base wage of a broker, let alone comms and all these things as well. And then there's more profit in the business because the conversion rate goes up, and every time conversion rate in leads goes up, it's all profit on leads because everything else stays the same, okay? So they focus just on that. And step 2, you obviously plug in a broker, which is a closer. So an example handoff, SDR books a call for Thursday 10 a.m. By the time the broker picks up the call, they already know the lead's income, budget, and needs. So basically the broker can go straight into the closing of the application and actually onboard the client, okay? Live transfer. So SDR qualifies the lead in the 3 to 5 minutes, even longer sometimes, because you want to be able to build rapport with the client. And then say I have my manager here who can come in, or you say I have my senior broker or I have my senior lending specialist here with the next steps, and basically transfer them to an available broker. And the lead stays warm and engaged as well because they're being handed up, not handed down. Imagine you're going through a service, okay? You are going through a service. When you go through that service, imagine you're talking with the most senior person and they hand you off, versus you're with a junior and they hand you up. I know you'd obviously always be rather talking to the one person. That's not always how it goes. But you would much rather be handed up than handed down and handed off, wouldn't you? So this leads to higher conversion rates. People are stickier on the back end. And basically, The magic happens when the SDR is doing huge volume and the broker is just doing the conversion. So basically application onwards, and the broker and the SDR is doing from appointment back towards contacting leads, obviously. So step 4, you need to make sure you systemize the flow, okay? So where does the CRM system split and actually separate and move into this key part, okay? And basically scripts and cadences. So having a standard SOP that you guys use, and I know everyone uses that word. What does SOP actually mean? SOP means you have a process or a system that you follow in your head that's not written down. So you know what to do. So you right now need to go and get that system and process that's in your head and just write it down, because you know that if you follow these steps, it moves into this result. So don't think, oh, I got to optimize this and make this better. If you can perform this action and you get this result, people miss the middle. The middle is writing it down, okay? And then also part of the middle in training is making sure they stick to this, because there's the steps here, there's writing it down. So now you have to follow it. And then there's over here, which is actually the result. Okay. So the only difference between them doing this, because you do it right now and you get this result, and them not getting this result, is training and follow up. So they're actually doing it. Okay. So for example, if at minute 2 of the phone call, you make a joke and you find you do that every call and then somehow everyone closes, like, I'm sure, write it down, do that, and then move on. So, and the handover process, making sure there's consistent script and consistent objection. Now, I don't want to call it objection, but it is objection handle. They say, I don't have time. What do you say? Like, you need to write those down and have them systematized, okay? So if they have something on the SDR call that is basically part of what we call the appointment 1 and the first script of talking to someone, you grab that and you basically move that into a sheet, and you write all the objections down so that they can use it, okay? And that's basically it. Systemize the flow, make sure the CRM system has clear tracking and separation from when the handoff is. The scripts and cadences have clear tracking, and basically you know exactly where you're tracking on the script, okay? And then the handover process, that you have clear scripting on how you're gonna hand it over, and then objection handle on what's actually gonna happen after. Okay, so this is what most 7, 8, 9-figure business owners don't want to tell you. I guarantee if you look at a couple of I can't remember the business name, the guy, his name's like Jack Hennessy or something. He runs a couple $1 million a month, like real estate firm or something like that. Like, he does this. All the biggest financial planning firms that I know do this. We've done it, and when we've been at our biggest numbers ever for any company, whether it's been sold by me previously or whatever, has done, like, this has been the biggest. This has been the best system that we've found. So give it a go and let me know how it goes. Basically, steps 1 through to 4, set up the team structure so you know, actually install the SDR, plug it into a broker, and then systemize the flow, okay? That's how you change the team structure, and stick with it and you'll see the results. Thanks for watching, as always. And if you're ready to get more sales, more leads, and more advice on growing your finance business, insurance business, anything in financial services, subscribe, hit the like button. I'll speak with you soon.